Hello friends, welcome to AQIS YouTube channel. This session is a part of our quick revision series Prelims Atulya. In today's session, we'll discuss some significant concepts related to Indian polity. So this is the third session, and in last two sessions we discussed some important terms related to Indian polity. So in today's session, we'll cover up some more significant terms related to Indian polity. First, let's talk about secularism. Now, the word secular means separate from religion. It means no religious basis. So, if you are a secular person, then you do not owe your moral values to any religion. Okay? So, your moral values are the product of your scientific and rational thinking. Okay, so if you are a secular person, your values and your ideologies, your principles, you have generated all these things by your scientific approach, by your rational approach. Now, secularism means that economic sphere, okay, political sphere, cultural sphere, and social sphere. All these spheres of the society are separated or away from the religion. Okay. So in all these spheres, in all these domains, there is no interference of the religion. So this is what the secularism is. Now, the concept of secularism, it is similar to the Vedic concept of Dharm Nirpekshta. Dharm Nirpekshta. And this concept, this Vedic concept has been adopted by so many Western societies. Okay, so all those Western societies, they are following this model, Dharm Nirpekshta. Dharm Nirpekshta means indifference to religion. Indifference, let me repeat one more time, Dharm Nirpekshta, and the meaning is indifference to religion. And India's model of secularism, it is slightly different. We follow the principle of Sarv Dharm Sambhava. It means equal respect to all religion. So this is the model that we follow. It means in our country we have inter-religious tolerance. We give equal respect. So we give equal respect to all religions. So in India we do not have any state religion, any official religion. We give equal respect to all religions. Okay, so you have the freedom of faith. You can follow any religion. Okay, you can follow any specific belief. You have the freedom. Okay. Now let's talk about the constitutional government. So let's try to understand this. See, in a country, if there is a constitutional government, it means the government has a constitution. It's a very simple thing. It is fairly very easy to understand that if a government has the constitution and this government is deriving its power from the constitution, okay, it means the government is constitutional government. Okay, let's try to understand more. It means this government is following the doctrine of constitutionalism. Doctrine of constitutionalism means that here the government is limited in its powers. This government does not have absolute powers. So here the constitution decides everything about the government. The powers of the government, roles and responsibilities of the government. So here the government follows the directives of the constitution. Okay, so when the doctrine of constitutionalism is being followed in a country or by a government, then we say that this country has a constitutional government. Now let's talk about the concept of bureaucracy. Now this bureaucracy it is a centralized form of management. Okay, so under this model, we have non-elected bureaucrats, non-elected officials, and these non-elected officials, they implement the laws, they implement the policies, and these laws and policies are formulated by the legislators. Okay, and these policies are implemented by the bureaucrats. Okay, so these legislators, they are elected people, however bureaucrats, they are non-elected. So these officials are selected by the fixed procedure. So legislators, so elections take place. However, for bureaucrats, there is a selection procedure. There is a specific, specialized selection procedure under which these bureaucrats are elected. So, under this model, there is hierarchy, there is this top-down approach, and this model focuses on centralization as well. Okay, so all these are features of bureaucracy. Now, one more thing. See, legislators, they are public representatives. Just remember, bureaucrats are not public representatives. They do not care about the public opinions. But these legislators, they are concerned about the public opinions. However, these bureaucrats do not care about that. Okay, so just remember, these are not public representatives. You cannot call them public representatives. Now, let's talk about the political ideology. First, understand the meaning of the word ideology. Ideology means the collection of ideas. Okay, so when you have certain ideas for the society, certain ideas for the government. Okay, so generally, when we talk about the political ideas or political ideology, it means we think that you have ideas related to the government. Okay, so you know that which government is best form of government. Okay, you know which economic system is best economic system. So when you have ideas related to government, when you have ideas related to economic system, it means you have certain kind of political ideology. So there are so many kinds of political ideologies, and in the upcoming sessions we'll study this topic comprehensively. For now, just remember, when you have a certain kind of political ideology, it means you have a blueprint for the society, for the social order. You have a blueprint for the government. You have the blueprint for the economic system in the country. Now let's talk about the welfare state. Now this welfare state, it is a concept of government. Under this concept, state plays a key role. State plays a massive role. So state ensures the protection, okay, and the promotion of economic and social well-being of the citizens. Okay, so when state is concerned about the social well-being, economic well-being, about the equality of opportunity, about the equitable distribution of wealth, so state is playing a major role. Are you understanding? And one more thing, that under this concept, state provides a social security net. Be it education, housing, all these things are provided by the state. Okay, so just remember, under this concept, state plays a big role. State provides social security net. State ensures the equality of opportunity. State ensures the equitable distribution of wealth, and state is concerned about the economic well-being, social well-being of its citizens. Now we'll talk about the federalism. Now this federalism, it is a form of government under which the power is divided between the central government, okay, and its constituents. Okay, so there are two sets of political spheres, set 1 and set 2. Okay, so there are two domains, central government and regional government, and these two spheres, these two political spheres are autonomous. Central government derives its power from the constitution, and this sphere, regional government sphere or provincial government sphere, it also derives its power from the constitution. Okay, so this is the concept of federalism, when there is this division of power between the central government and its constituents, or we can say the division of power between the central government and regional government. Okay, so, and in the upcoming classes we'll study about federalism in a comprehensive manner. Okay, so for now just remember division of power between the central government and the provincial government. Now let's talk about the political philosophy of Indian Constitution. See, describing political philosophy of Indian Constitution in one word, it is not possible. We won't be able to do the justice. So this political philosophy of Indian Constitution, it seeks for egalitarian society, it seeks for secular society, a democratic society, or a society where there is equality of opportunity, a society where there is political justice, social justice, economic justice. So all these are ideals, principles under this political philosophy of Indian Constitution. In fact, the preamble of the Indian Constitution contains the political philosophy of our Constitution. So if you are somebody who has read the preamble, it means you must be knowing the political philosophy of our Constitution. So that's all I wanted to discuss in today's session. I hope you must have liked this session, and if you have liked it, you can subscribe our YouTube channel for more such videos. You can follow our social media platforms for daily current affairs content. So that's all for today's session. I'll see you in the next session soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.